Can someone with zero singing ability sound like a chart-topping artist? Well, that's what we're about to find out. In today's video, I'm going to take someone who has zero singing experience, my roommate, and see if just by using some audio plugins and some production magic, if I can make his voice sound like a professional artist. After I finish the recording, I'll show the finished project to a group of friends, get their first-time reactions, and see if they can recognize that it's him. I am excited for this one. Let's get into it. But before we get into the vocal transformation, let me give you a little backstory. So this is my roommate, Steffi. He is not a singer.
I've got the keys to the G.
But he is a good friend, and he said he'd be willing to give this a go. I've written some lyrics for him to sing and then recorded my voice so that he has a demo of what it should actually sound like and what I envisioned. I made the vocal line a basic line to sing to make things easier, but we'll see how it goes. After we record, I'll walk you through the entire processing chain that I'll use to try to get his voice to sound like a professional. I'm gonna bring him down into the studio now. Steffi, how you feel?
All right, I feel really good.
How would you rate your singing experience?
On a scale of 1 to 10,
Yeah.
maybe like a 2.
Okay.
I feel like I've had some singing experience, but it's gone really poorly.
After getting off to a riveting start, I talked Steffi through the recording process. We got ourselves hyped up through some airboxing, and we started recording a bunch of takes. And with every take we did, Steffi started gaining more confidence in his singing. That is, until I asked him to sing an octave higher. Adding like the octave higher?
Sure. Oh, I'm headed where it's cool, psychedelic.
That's okay. The octave didn't really work out, but we persevered. We kept recording, and we also came up with an artist name that he could use for his new alias. Crowd's cheering your name. What's your artist name?
Oh, I'm so nervous.
And after all that, it was time for Steffi to hang up his headphones, and for the real hard work to begin. It was time to start editing his voice. The first thing I had to do was take the best parts from each different take and stitch them together as one mutant zombie take. That way, if he missed a note in one recording but hit it in another, I could use the best parts from each. This is called comping, and it's pretty common. Next, I had to fix some of the pitch problems he had on his newly compiled track. Pitch might be one of the hardest things for amateur singers to get right, but luckily it's actually one of the easiest to fix later on. To do this, I used a program called Melodyne. It lets me see the exact pitch of each individual note he sang, and then allows me to adjust it up or down so that it fits perfectly. The best part about Melodyne is, if you do it right and the singer is close to the original pitch, it sounds pretty natural. Then, to get his voice even more on pitch, I use another pitch processing plugin that is going to really make him sound money, called Auto-Tune. I set the key, I set a semi-natural sounding setting, and pretty much I was good to go. We honestly might not need to use Auto-Tune because we've already adjusted the pitch in Melodyne, but this is really just to be safe and to make it sound more professional. And honestly, Steffi needs all the help he can get. After fixing the pitch, it was time for my secret weapon, a vocal preset pack I made called Vocal Magic 1. I designed over 50 vocal chains that only use free stock plugins to get a professional sounding vocal, and by God, I'm gonna use them. I blasted through a bunch of presets that would instantly change the vibe of his vocal till I found one that I like. And then, when I finally landed on one, I knew it was time to add some bells and whistles. Now that I've got his chain down for one of his voices, I can copy and paste it and start adding some more. Most professional songs have a ton of voices that you might not even realize are there, including layers, backgrounds, harmonies, all to make it sound more awesomer. To do this with Steffi, I took his multiple vocal takes he sang and then put them on separate tracks after duplicating the original track and processing that I had already come up with. On these duplicated tracks, I pan one hard left and hard right and then turn them down in volume. This will make them sound way bigger and wider on the speakers. I know I'm moving fast through these, but if you want a more detailed explanations of all of these production concepts or are interested in making your own music, go and hit subscribe and check out our channel for videos on all of these topics. Next up, I wanted to fill in some gaps in the audio. There were a lot of times that the singing stopped and the instrumental kept going. To fill in these these gaps, I created a separate delay track and then side-chained it to the main vocal so that anytime the main vocal plays, the delay gets turned down automatically. And then anytime the main vocal stops singing, it comes back up in volume to fill in those gaps. After that, I went to work on some background harmonies and voices to fill out some parts of the song even more. I went through and edited some of the notes of his vocal performance to match the chords of the backing track, and then I added some harmonies into the final mix, and I even threw in a vocoder type sound to fill out the sound spectrum even more. Okay, the time had come. I'd finished the song. It was time for the moment of truth. Would my friends actually be able to tell who is singing on this track? I have no idea. To keep them from getting suspicious right away, I told them that I was working with a new artist called I'm So Nervous, and he wanted to get some videos and first-time reactions of people listening to his tracks so he could get a feel for if they were good or not. As I go through the final track, and so you can hear it, I'll show those first-time reactions of the various people that I played this for.
I nod my head down the street, I'm smiling into the breeze. A brand new me's on the horizon. I've got the keys to the Jeep, I put my past in the seat. I've been down for a while, but I'm rising. I'm heading
I like this
where
part.
it's cool, psychedelic. If it rains, I won't let it. I'm sitting 2 steps down from heaven.
So that's pretty much it. What are your thoughts on the voice specifically?
It's deep.
It's deep? It's deep.
It caught me off guard.
Okay.
Not in a bad way.
I thought I heard him in there. The autotune's crazy.
I think he could maybe have a little bit more range in there.
His voice was really low.
It was really low.
Yeah.
Super low. I felt like it was he almost has a voice for a different type of song.
I like it how it was all coming together though.
Okay,
I see
okay.
this whole picture.
Does that sound like anybody you guys know?
Blake Shelton?
So that is Steffi singing.
It does kind of sound like that. I don't know if it's releasable.
Voice was
Amazing.
bad, Stephanie.
Did it turn out like a professional track? Well, kind of. Realistically, no. I was happy that some of my friends weren't able to identify his voice right away, but the lack of singing experience really downgraded this song. Sorry, Steffi. But at the end of the day, the vocals didn't have quite the same quality as a professional record might. I think it would have worked better if he was able to sing the melody in the octave I originally wrote for him, but that's okay. No harm, no foul. I think if even I was working with a 5 out of 10 level amateur singer, I could have made things sound a lot better. Maybe that'll be a video for another time. Comment Maddie do it below if you want to see that happen. If you like the video, hit the like button and hit subscribe for more music production content just like this. I'll see you in the next one.